if that makes sense.
Yeah, speaking of positive, and I see some comments about other data tools, and obviously there's the other one, Market Movers with
Yep.
Jeff Wilson, and I know you told me that you actually like Market Movers, and there's a lot of heat coming at Jeff Wilson, so I know that's like an open-ended topic, but like, what are your thoughts on about all of that?
Yeah. So it's funny. Let me first of all say, I started in the YouTube hobby world because I'm a father of children who were following the content years ago. So they were watching the content that was out there, and they started coming back to me and go, "Dad, we can make money in this, and we could do this, or this person in this." And I say that because what Jeff brought to the hobby was, before Jeff, no one was making videos about how to make money buying and selling cards. Everybody did it, right? Everybody was doing it, but it was not talked about the way he did. He made that very public. And I'll give you an example. I've been back in the hobby for about, I don't know, about 6 years now. And as an example, if you're in the hobby, you're probably in a Facebook group, right? And in the Facebook groups, if you watch the evolution of those, back in the day, a Facebook group was used to vet individuals that you could buy, sell, and trade cards with. And they often did is they capped or managed the price. So no one could take advantage of individuals. You didn't have somebody selling boxes that had been searched or packs that had been reopened. You had guys that could be trusted. And I remember this because we used to, for example, we used to use eBay as the ceiling for an item. If an item sold on eBay for $100, you could sell it in the group for up to 10% off of that amount. It was just a natural thing. No one tried to sell it at the eBay price. No one tried to sell it for more than the eBay price. No one would dare do that. It was just, hey, somebody on eBay bought this for $100, man. I've got one. I'll sell it for 90. Do you want to buy it? And that kind of created this community. But over time, I've noticed that change, right? Back in 2020, I remember being an admin where I got an argument with an admin. He said, look, we got to stop telling people what they can pay for something. Every other group just lets you post what you want, right? And I think it was the Mojo boxes, the mega boxes. They were bought for, I think, $20 in the store, and they were selling for $40, $80, $100. So I remember being an argument, and we decided we took the cap off it, where it's a buy and sell as you want. If you want to pay $80 for a box, it's $20, you can do that. It was more about protecting that the person had the box. It was a good transaction was going to go down. But that change that we saw, I think, was driven by Jeff Wilson and that investment mentality that brought the flippers into the market, right? Because guys, people were buying and selling at Target who had no interest in sports cards, but they were doing it because they knew they could make a hustle. But I'd also say Gary Vee was just as guilty as Jeff was. Gary Vee was a guy tell you go to a yard sale and you could flip stuff. He could also tell you could flip cards. So to answer your question, when I look at what Jeff did is I applaud him. I am a fan of Jeff. I'm a friend of Jeff because he looked at what's going on in the Wild West and he built a data tool out of that. And what I applaud his data tool for is it's simply eBay data. That's all it is. I can check any comp that he has. I can look on eBay and see it and verify it. Is it better than eBay data? No, it's not. I don't promote it. I don't sell it. I'm not an affiliate of it, right? I use it myself and I like it. And it helps me shortcut stuff. It helps me do certain things that I could do it probably through eBay, right? And again, I admire what he did by building a business off that. And I'll just tell you this. Here's what I think will happen. I think what he's built in that platform could easily be adjusted for anything in the eBay portfolio, right? It could be used for purses. It could be used for cars. It could be used for anything in eBay. You see what I'm saying? Like I've been saying this all the time. I think he gets bought by eBay because he stayed so natural, just leveraging eBay data. He's been a sponsor with eBay. The tool is focused on eBay. If you look at eBay, they are definitely a freaking leader in sports cards, and they are a woken giant. If you look at the changes they made in the Investor Day announcement, right? They're going to have their own vault, okay? Which I'm not a vault person, but if I was going to vault, I'd vault with eBay. There's absolutely no reason I'd vault with anybody else, right? We kind of learned that in the last year or so. So I think what he's done.
Let me interrupt you.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. So I believe CSG is going to be involved with the vault. So if I want to sell a card through their vault system in the future, I'm going to first go to CSG. Do you think there's going to be a problem with all these cards going to CSG first? Because we've had backlogs in the past, with all these grading companies. Do you think that CSG is going to create some sort of issues?
I don't think so because, first of all, I don't think there's a huge demand for vaulting services. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've always questioned that. Like, who in the hell is vaulting? I think what you might see, like, for example, myself, if I was going to buy a card on eBay that I intended to resell, I would probably just say ship it to their vault. Am I going to take a bunch of cards I have now and send them to eBay to vault? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still going to sell from home. I might buy and vault there. So to answer your question, I'm not concerned about that bottleneck at all, right? And again, if anything, it just and let me say this again. If I look at eBay, do you think eBay's building that vault just for sports cards? No. They can use it for everything in their portfolio. So to me, like I said, I think some of the again, if you take a step back and you look at what happened last few years, we saw major innovations in medicine because of the whole pandemic thing. We're seeing major innovations in e-commerce based on what we saw happen with the boom in collectibles. Products like Whatnot, right? eBay's going to come out with a live auctioning thing. Does that mean Whatnot's gone? No, but I wouldn't want to be a Whatnot shareholder. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that was patentable in anything that these guys made. A vault's not a patent, right? Live streaming cells isn't a patent, right? So they just made innovations to problems in the system that are now going to be corrected by a major player. Same thing in grading, in my opinion, too. Same thing in distribution. Like I said, you fast forward 5 years, I think you will be able to go online. You'll be able to get a collectible, whether it's from going to a concert or going to a sporting event. Maybe you go to a game, and at the end of the game, you and your son get a picture you took, right, with a picture of your favorite athlete that's been printed, NFT'd, sent to you at home, and you get a box of cards and an autograph. I don't know, but they will be able to bring the entire experience to you. Fanatics has the athletes. They have the license to them. They will not have to deal with the middleman. We're seeing changes, in my opinion, of that experience. And that, I think, is what's exciting. Like, as a collector, I'm excited, right? I wouldn't want to be a sports card store holder. I don't see how that's going to work very well. I know there's the social aspects that sports card stores hold, but I'm curious to see how that will adapt.
Yeah, whoever has the best relationship with Fanatics, those sports stores are gonna be doing the best. But getting back to Jeff Wilson, why do you think there's a lot of people are coming after him? I did a video about him about, the positive nature. I said, I think we should be more objective rather than positive or negative, looking at it from that standpoint. I wasn't trying to be, rude or anything like that. It may have come off as that, but why do you think that a lot of people are, taking out their rage at him? The
number one reason is envy. Okay, and what I mean by that, dude, Raul, if we took a look at this, if we could rewind the calendar and go back to 2018, there's not one of these other smart guys in sports cards today who couldn't have done what Jeff did. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're envious of that, in my opinion, because he has built a very successful, influential business. And I will say this in his defense, I don't think everything Jeff's done great. I'm not a Jeff lover, Jeff fanboy. What I like about Jeff is he's always been open to criticism and feedback, where others are not. Okay, and I'll give you an example. I first met Jeff because, again, I was very active in Facebook groups. I got involved in his Facebook group when he first launched it. I became a moderator and then became an admin. And when I would talk to Jeff, he would listen to me. I love that. Like, number one thing, I'll give you an example. When he built his Facebook group, a lot of people were like, hey, let's sell stuff in your group. And I remember talking to him, look, I suggest you don't use this group for selling. Just make this an informational group. Use it to promote Sports Card Investor. Let people promote their businesses. Don't use it for selling because you'll be a target for scams if people want to sell in your group. And he listened to me. And he's always listened to me. Like, he's also listened to the people. When people criticize him for selling when he used to sell picks, he had a club for $9.99, he got rid of that. Right. So I think, again, he's adopted. I also think, again, if you listen to him, the man really loves what he's doing. Like, he's a businessman who I think is now making a business off his hobby. So he really likes that. Here's what I wish Jeff would do. And I've said this to him before. I wish he would take his leadership position and his relationships with others in the hobby and build some type of community policing environment. Right. Like, I think back in the 80s, there was like the fan club, the Mickey Mouse fan club, the Star Wars fan club, the Star Trek fan club, whatever it was. and there's like a policing group where if you did something, stepped out of line, someone could say something. I wish we as the hobby had something more like that, like a group of people, a panel of leaders in the hobby that they could put together that would listen to the collector, the consumer, and say, hey, this is wrong, right? We need to fix this. We need to correct that. Here's a perfect example, a big pet peeve I have about the hobby. Every time we hear a story about a fake being identified, you never, ever see the fake destroyed or confiscated. It's just there. Oh, we spotted this fake at the conference this other day, and the guy's he's gonna find out what he's gonna do with it. Where does it go? You see what I'm saying? It just goes back into the community. There's no community that says, hey, you know what? If you spot a fake, we're gonna put a reward, hand it to me. I'm gonna investigate into where it came from. I'm gonna expose what we found, right? And it's gonna be something that's beneficial to everybody, right? That is what I wish Jeff and other leaders would do, right? Is help. I mean, the hobby's growing, but the hobby needs that. It needs that type of cohesiveness, that collaboration.